What up, what up? If you follow us here on the channel, you know since we started, we've done apartment tours each year. We did our old location, and then we did the new Silverhammer Loft, which we moved into a few months ago. When we did that tour, we had some special guests, which I'm very much missing today. But anyway, we'll try to get through it without them. But we gave you that tour and I asked for suggestions. I wanted to make it very interactive because we're starting from scratch, which is very exciting. So since then, we have added quite a bit of tech, and we try to keep it HomeKit, but sometimes we get some other devices in there, but we want to keep it going. So we want to do an updated tour today, and then just keep asking your suggestions after you see what we've added so far. So let's get started. Well, hello.
Hello, George.
Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are again at the Silverhammer Loft. We're gonna walk to our apartment. And just like last time, forgive us, there's an echo in here. These ceilings are high, we've got concrete, and in our apartment, we have hardwood floors. So we've tried to combat that with our new studio, and I think it's getting better all the time, but in the rest of the apartment, you're gonna have to forgive us for the echo. So here we are over here. And we'll start at the front door. Now, I believe last time we did this, we had the Google battery doorbell. Now we have the Eufy Dual. And a lot of these products we've actually already started doing videos for, so this is one of them. So go back and check out our video on the Eufy Dual. We got two cameras here, package camera and the person camera, and I've stuck with it since I did that video. I really like this doorbell. I just really wish it had Apple HomeKit. We have added the August keypad. I really wanted the Schlage Apple key lock, but this deadbolt has a very small hole, unfortunately, and I couldn't add it, which is a huge bummer for me. So right now we're sticking with the August because the level lock, which we did at our old apartment, we can't use that here either. But let's go inside. Okay, so now that we're inside, we've got the front door. Again, we've still got the August lock, but one of the new additions is our Ecobee sensors. So we're using the Ecobee Thermostat, which we'll talk about in a minute. We are using their security system in here right now. I've been testing it. I really enjoy it. I love that it's automatic, so the geofencing works really well. So as soon as we leave, I actually get a notification on my Apple Watch if I want to turn that on and arm it. And basically it acts just like your regular burglar alarm. Go back and check out our little more updated video on the burglar alarm topic. But as far as they go, I'm really enjoying the Ecobee one. We added a Sonos One here on our little outlet mount, which I'm enjoying. And we also just did a video on the new Sonos voice control, or the Sonos voice assistant. So every Sonos we have in here now, I've switched to speakers. I've been using it with Siri, so I've got some HomePods in here, which we've already talked about. So I've been using that for general requests, but I love the Sonos assistant for my music. I'm sorry, Apple, until you figure out HomePods and having more than 6. I just have to have an option where I have a speaker in every room, and I need my DJ to work. All right, so that's the entryway. I believe that's it. But yeah, the new additions are the Sonos speaker and the Ecobee sensor. Okay, moving on to what we're calling the foyer. We've got a couple new additions. We've got the new Ecobee Smart Thermostat Premium. We did a video on this recently, check that out. I've been using it since and I love it. I have not changed my stance on that. A lovely upgrade from the previous model, and I'm loving it. So check out that video.
I am loving it too.
Oh yes. Yeah, we're saving a ton of money. We've really noticed it compared to our last place. In our last place, if you go back and watch our smart apartment tour, we had floor to ceiling windows, but still, I think this is helping a lot. We still have windows, pretty large windows, but we saved some money.
Yeah, it was so good I had to email you our electric bill because I was so thrilled.
Yeah, so that was very exciting, and we have this to thank. All right, then we're moving on to the router. Now, I've talked about the Orbi routers before, and believe it or not, I've tried a ton of them, even though I keep talking about this one, but this one is new, and it is an upgrade from our last video. I switched to the newest model with the Midnight Black Edition. I love the fact that this is black. We switched from a white theme at our old apartment to all black here, and a lot of it's matte black, which I'm loving. And so I love the look of this thing, but it just looks like a badass accessory. And it works really well. Orbi's got some lower end models, which I didn't have that much luck with, in my opinion. I think the Nest Wi-Fi is a better option on the lower end. But if you've got the money and you want something that's gonna truly get you gigabit internet, this is your guy right here. And I'll put the model number and the link in the description below with some affiliate links. All right, so we got the thermostat, we got the router, and then this is part of that Ecobee security system we were talking about. Now, I did a video on the Ecobee cameras. I've decided to go back to those. We've already switched a couple times in the last couple of months from Nest. Then we went to the Eufy. I got the black model of their pan tilt, which is cool to go with our matte black theme. I found those at Target, so it's really cool to find those in black. But now we're back to the Ecobee camera, which is great. It works great with these sensors. So we've got the temperature sensors around, which I talked about on the last tour. And then you've got the door and window contacts. We talked about the door, we'll talk about the windows in a moment because they've got a cool feature. But yeah, so we've got the camera, the thermostat, the router here in this room. Hello again.
Hello, George.
All right, so moving into the studio, some things have changed since we did that first video when we moved in. I have switched from the Mac Studio display to the LG G2 Evo canvas model. So that is extremely flat to the wall. Does all sorts of cool art, which we'll show you in the living room. I've got the Silverhammer screensaver here, but so yeah, I've got an Apple TV on there, and I've got my Mac Studio on there, and I love that TV enough to get rid of the Mac display. The only thing I'm missing is the FaceTime camera, but I have my iPad Pro and my MacBook 16-inch, and this is the M1 Max version. Anyway, I can use either of those for FaceTime, so I don't miss that from the monitor. I love having the bigger screen, and I just love these OLED televisions. They're fantastic. We added the Sonos Beam. This is the second generation with Dolby Atmos, so that works with my Apple TV I have on here. And then we've got the Nanoleaf lines, which we've expanded since we moved in. And we've also got the skins, which turn your lines, which are normally white, to black. They have a couple different colors, and I really like the black. So we added that in here. I went Secret Lab, which we did a video on, so go back and check out that video. We did the desk, which is the Magnus desk, and then this Titan chair. I love this chair. I love the memory foam pillow. The desk is fantastic. It's got the Nanoleaf light strip built in. That's in cooperation with Nanoleaf and Secret Lab, which is very cool. And again, go back and check out that video. But I'm loving the new setup, and this is our YouTube battle station / Silverhammer office. And I'm enjoying it very much. All right, let's move on. All right, moving on to the kitchen, which normally isn't a very exciting room for the smart home, at least for us, just because we're renters and we can't switch out our appliances and such. But we do have a few new additions for this particular loft. So DG, one of our followers, he's a guy that likes to call me Hammer. It's grown to where it's a nickname of mine in the family. So DG, I wish I knew your real name because I'd mention it. But anyway, you asked for a tour of our Sonos. We already started with the Foyer, so I'm gonna kind of throw in a special tour for you. But we do have a Sonos one here, again with the speaker for the Sonos voice control. We've already talked about our HomePod Mini. We've already talked about some Ecobee sensors. But another new addition. And so I did start with a well-mounted iPad for that first tour, but I've switched to the Kennsington StudioDock. And we've got a couple of these throughout. But these are a very cool device if you're not familiar. They will charge your phone, your AirPods. You've got your iPad display. You can get the Apple Watch charger accessory, and then I'll show a close-up here. But in the back, you can basically, gets you one step closer to making your iPad a laptop, because you've got all sorts of ports, SD cards, USB ports on the back. But it really gives your iPad a lot more functionality. Apple themselves are slowly but surely adding more functionality natively, but this bad boy really kind of helps it get closer to that laptop status. And this is the 11-inch model, which, by the way, we have also added an iPad Air. This is the latest generation, 5th generation. We've got one here, we've got a couple throughout the loft, which we'll talk about. And on these iPad Airs, I use it for a lot of different things, but I'm basically using it for HomeKit and Sonos. So I've got the split screen active here, I've got my HomeKit home right here, and I can obviously switch that to whatever I want. I can slide the screen over and make it bigger. But I like that little side panel for HomeKit. And then I've got Sonos always playing there, so it's a nice visual. Since I don't have my brilliant smart switches, which if you go back to our old apartment, I had those, I love those. I just can't install those here because we've got some weird wiring, and as renters, I don't want to step on any toes as far as changing the wire. So that's a great alternative for my Sonos. But before we move on, I also added an Ecobee camera in here, which gets that side of the loft. So we have the one in the entryway, which gets the entryway, and it's got a wide enough angle that it gets that entire half, and then this gets the other half. And like I said, it works great with the thermostat and the Ecobee sensors. All right, now moving on for real. Okay, moving on to the dining room. Really the only thing we have here, and this is already an evolution that has happened since that last video because we did not have a robot vacuum for that video. We have since had the Ecovacs D-Bot X1 Omni vacuum, which I did a video on, go back and check that out. But thanks to Shane Watley, my HomeKit boy, he did a video on the Roborock S7 Max Ultra, and I had to try it. So we are slowly but surely testing the two. Actually, I tested that other one already. And I'm doing a comparison video very soon to come. Want a little more time with this guy to compare it. Who I'm affectionately referring to as Rocky. It's cool to be able to talk to your vacuum like it's part of the family. But anyway, we switched to this great robot vacuum. It's got the mop built in. Again, we'll have a video upcoming on the difference between this and the Ecovacs and just kind of explaining this bad boy in general. But I love this robot vacuum. That's really all we got in the dining room. Moving on. All right, so here we are in the living room, and I'm gonna mention this just for DG. Again, I wish I really knew your name, but whatever. As part of our Sonos tour, we've got the Sonos One surrounds behind me. And so that was here before, but I just want to mention that to you as part of your specialized Sonos tour. Another StudioDock by Kensington. And so I've got, again, this is the iPad Air, the latest generation. And same thing here, I got HomeKit and Sonos. And then HomePod Mini here to follow up on some requests. My other Sonos One speaker. So I'm loving this thing. This is kind of my control center because this is my spot on the couch. Teresa sits over there, I sit over here. This is where I control it all. This is the one I use the most. The kitchen one I use a lot. Actually, I use all of them, but anyway. And this is just a special one. I've mentioned this on Instagram. If you haven't followed us on Instagram, give us a follow. We talk about a lot of tech and stuff on there too. But this was a railroad stoplight that was in my aunt's yard when I was young. And this was really faded and green. And she had it on a pole in her backyard in Detroit. And I always thought it was really cool as a kid. And so she gave it to me, and it was sitting in my shop in the garage just collecting dust. And I was thinking, what the hell is it doing that for? I should have it in here. So I put some Philips Hue in here, and now this is a smart light. And so it's ancient. I don't even know when it was in service in Detroit. But so here it sits, and now it works. And we've got it on some automations, and we got the green and yellow. So it doesn't change colors in here, but still very cool. And at night, it puts a nice reflection on the wall, and I'm very much enjoying it. So nice nod to my aunt. I'm using it. Look.
Also a nod to my cool brother for his welding skills
Yes,
in
Teresa's
building
brother made
the
us this
stand.
cool stand for it because it's heavy. And we were having trouble figuring out how to put it on something that would sustain it and support it. And her brother is a very talented welder, a farmer here in Nebraska. Shout out to all the farmers out there because they deserve some love. But yeah, thanks, bro, for making this for us. All right, then we got our Ecobee room sensor over there, which we've had, but the new additions are the window sensors. And this is my favorite feature of the Ecobee thermostat / security system. Is what's awesome about these is the Ecobee thermostat automatically senses when this window is open, and it will turn the air conditioner off. Now in our old apartment, we couldn't open the windows, and I think that might be part of the change in the electric bill, because now we can, and we can save some money, and we get the city sounds, and sometimes it's annoying when we're trying to sleep, but anyway, we get to enjoy storms. We've got these trees out here. We haven't had trees in an apartment for a long time. But as soon as these windows open, thermostat automatically shuts the air conditioner off, and we just deal with Mother Nature's nice little climate control. And when we shut the windows, it automatically knows it and it turns back on. So that's a very cool feature. And Ecobee, that's what sets them apart, are their sensors, and this is just another example of it. And not only that, for climate control, but they're also security. So it tells us when the windows are open. We can arm that with everything else. We can sound the siren and all that good stuff. So it's like a burglar alarm / climate control savings feature.
It's amazing all that comes out of that little white piece.
Yeah, it really is. And like I said, go back and check out our video on the Ecobee cameras because there was a lot of excitement around that release, but then it kind of fell to the wayside, and I'm not really sure why because it's a great HomeKit secure video camera, but it's really kind of brought me back to them. and I'm enjoying them all working together. Okay, and then as part of our specialized Sonos tour, we're back to the Sonos Arc. We got rid of the double subs. We had double Sonos subs in here. We found that as renters, that just became too much for our neighbors. I was scared of getting evicted in our first couple months. So I got rid of the double subs. Now I am anxious for the new Sonos sub. Just passed through the SEC filing. Sounds like it's coming anytime. I think it's gonna go great right here. There's some renderings out there. It looks pretty cool. Hopefully a little cheaper than the other subs because those bad boys were expensive. But anyways, we got the Arc, we got the 2 surrounds. It still sounds great, but I miss the subs because I'm a music freak. Oh well. And then this is our other LG G2 Evo Gallery Edition. This is a 65-inch. We have the 55-inch in the studio, but we are loving this thing. I've heard when you go OLED, you won't go back, and it's true. Even Teresa's impressed by it.
I am. It is a very, very cool viewing experience.
It is, and we are both art fans, so it's great that it's the gallery. The profile on the wall is fantastic. It was a pretty easy install for the two of us to do. They really engineered it well, designed it well as far as that install, and we're loving it. So, great television, and I don't think until the new technology comes out, I will not be going away from OLED. All right, then we got the Orbi router. This is our main Orbi router. Our modem's in here. So I've talked about that enough, but again, the black edition, which I'm loving, and link in the description below for all this stuff. That's the living room in a nutshell. Okay, so moving on to the bedroom, we've got a few new additions in here. Now, one thing I do want to mention, and this is again, I still want this to be interactive. We're just getting started. It's only a couple months in, but I want some smart blinds. Now, we've got some great suggestions. I just haven't got to it yet. That's one thing that I really need to do. That's probably next on the list. So yeah, we haven't done it yet, but smart blinds are on the list. So as part of our Sonos tour, we've got the Sonos Beam, 2nd generation, Dolby Atmos version. And this isn't the G2, this is the LG B2 OLED. So this is new, very thin, good profile. We found the mount that has the beam mount on it, which is great. But man, OLED, can't say enough about it.
Is that a sensor right there behind you?
What's that?
A sensor?
Yeah, that's the temperature sensor, occupancy sensor from Ecobee. I did move it around, I think in our last tour it was somewhere else, but anyway. All right, then we got another StudioDock. So this is my little command center from the bed. Again, I got the Sonos in the home. And now I do switch this to the weather at night. And there's several different things. Sometimes I do use Siri and use my Sonos speakers as AirPlay 2 speakers. So I've got the music app and the HomeKit app. Usually the home app is part of my mix. But this is where I charge my phone and my AirPods and my Apple Watch. So that's a new addition. And then I did a video on the Dyson oversized Absolute Plus vacuum, which I really enjoyed, but I'm such a weirdo with brands. When I got that Roborock vacuum, of course I had to switch to Roborock. I couldn't have a Dyson and Roborock, my mind wouldn't handle it. So this is the Roborock H7 cordless vac. I got the stand for it. I love this thing. A little bit smaller, doesn't have the laser that the Dyson had, which I miss. Because man, when I started putting that laser in here, I realized how much dirt we miss normally before the laser. So I do miss the laser, but this is just great. It's got the magnet accessories, which is fantastic. I love that because I'm a clean freak, as I've mentioned many times. I am using this thing several times a day. Kind of moved our office here, so I'm here a lot when we're not installing. And this thing's been my friend with the robot vacuum. I just send it out. Again, we'll do a video on more of the features of that Roborock robot vacuum, but this one's been great to pick up the slack. But that's pretty much our additions. Now, in the bathroom, one thing that we have added is I've got a Sonos Move wall mounted in here. And then in Teresa's bathroom, we've got the Sonos Roam, just a great portable speaker, but that kind of rounds out our Sonos tour for you, DG. Hammer to you. Hope you enjoyed our Sonos tour. Anyway, but that's it. I'm not going to take you inside the least exciting room of the loft. What do you think? What do you think of the additions? Please keep the suggestions coming. Maybe we'll do this every few months. Maybe we'll wait till next year now. I don't know. It just depends on what we add. But I very much appreciate your suggestions. A lot of these things I've lost track of everybody that suggested something, so I'm sorry I'm not mentioning your names. but I very much appreciate it. I asked you and you didn't disappoint, so thank you. All right, so hopefully you liked this little updated tour. Smash the like button if you did. Subscribe to the channel. We talk smart home and we talk home security. We have videos every Tuesday. We very much appreciate your support. And again, thank you for the suggestions and being interactive with me. Forgive us about the audio in here. That's a work in progress. Working on it in the studio, trying to stay in the studio as much as possible, but you gotta get out once in a while.
Yeah, get out on the streets.
Gotta get out on the streets. But yeah, anyway, thanks again. Until the next video, peace and love.